Hello, Seiiti Arata. Are you someone who has a good life plan? You watch a lot of personal development videos here on YouTube. Maybe you read several books on improving your career, your health, your finances. Well, instead of congratulating you, I'm going to be telling you something else. Be careful, because you could be wasting time. Lots of time. See, over-planning is an issue that affects many people nowadays. First, because we have now access to more information than ever before. With just a few clicks, you can find tutorials on how to do everything, from having a great career to gaining muscle mass or becoming financially successful. And second, because now we have great tools that allow us to make increasingly elaborate plans, like task management apps, note-taking, and project management tools. But what has been the practical result of all this planning? Apart from having a beautiful document detailing your future life, what else have you achieved after watching so many videos, following those influencers, and reading countless books? In practice, is your life better? Are you progressing in your career? Are you improving your health? Is the amount of money in your bank account increasing? In other words, is your plan becoming a reality? Or is all this planning just another form of procrastination? You see that the paper accepts everything, but no plan survives intact on the battlefield. Making plans for the future is great. The paper or the computer screen will accept anything you put on it. For example, you could set a goal to lose 20 kilos over the next 3 months by going to the gym all the time and following this low-carb diet. You create a SMART goal, you schedule your gym days, you collect the best recipes online, you write down all the details for know exactly what you eat in every single meal. Everything is perfect. But then life happens. At first you do well following your plan, and one day, eventually, you will have a problem at work. You can't have the lunch that you planned, and then after that you can't go to the gym, and instead of that you eat a whole bucket of ice cream just to relieve your stress and your frustration. And feeling guilty, you try to resume your plan, but now you don't have the same enthusiasm, and you might conclude that the problem was in your planning. So now you try a different plan, a new idea, a different influencer telling you that it is best to have a flexible diet and doing lots of cardio. A new plan that will also not be executed as well as it's written. And after you repeat this cycle a few times, you'll start to realize that this long-term, highly detailed plan simply doesn't work for you, because life is so complex, so full of details, unforeseen events, that trying to anticipate everything in your plan is a little bit useless, no matter how good your planning skills are. And this doesn't mean that planning and studying are useless. It just means that you need to strike a better balance between planning and action. The path is made by walking. Plan a little and act a lot, and then you constantly adjust your plan. If you want a more productive way to plan your goals, you have to swap that long-term, highly detailed plan for smaller plans. In other words, you have to plan less and do more. This is a smart way to protect your most valuable asset, which is your time. Instead of wasting hours studying, making plans that will never come true or reality, you have to study very specific topics. You plan as little as possible, and then you take action. Specific study means looking for objective information in the problem that you want to solve. For example, if you want to lose 20 kilos, that's your focus. You're going to find an objective way to do that. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you have to research a step-by-step guide on how to do that. You want to have a promotion at work, you have to study exactly how to do exactly that, how to do that negotiation. And then after you gathered the basic information, make the smallest plan that you can. Don't fill your plan with too many details. Don't think about grand things. Don't make plans that will take months or years to come true. Of course, you can have a long-term vision in your planning, but that's all it is. It is a vision. It is a guide to give you general direction to the destination you want to reach at the end. A vision is not a plan in itself. It doesn't have practical actions for you to turn it into reality. In practical terms, it's best to have short-term plans to achieve goals that will be fulfilled in a few days, maximum a few weeks. If your goal is huge, you have to break it down into smaller targets that can be reached within a few weeks at most. As soon as your plan is ready, then you take action. Start with what you have today, without waiting for the perfect condition to make the perfect decision. Just get started. Even if you make a few mistakes right now, or if you just have a few minutes per day, it's okay. Because 1 minute of effective action is worth much more than 1 hour of excessive planning. When you stop planning and you start acting, something very interesting will happen. You realize that differently from your paper or your computer screen, real life doesn't accept everything. It's one thing to write in your task manager that you do weightlifting until your muscle exhausts and then you're gonna have this low refined carbohydrate meal. It's a very different thing to actually go there and squat with that heavy iron bar in your back and then when you're starving, manage to avoid eating all those sweets that you have at home. By taking action, you get real feedback on what works and what doesn't for your specific situation. And in this way, you quickly stop doing what doesn't work. You focus on doing only what works for you. Then you can manage your time much more intelligently. And after a few days, or mostly after a couple of weeks of testing what works, then you can check whether you've achieved your planned goal. If yes, great. Now you can start a new short-term goal. Something that is very minimalist in terms of details. And then you progress a little bit further in whatever it is that you want to achieve. Now, if you can't, just redo your plan. Adjust to exclude what didn't work and, of course, keep what did work for you. This basic cycle of planning, action, checking, and course correction in short periods, short cycles is by far the best way to balance your planning and your actions and thus achieve your goals without wasting time. Setting aside impossible plans reduces the suffering that is caused by self-centeredness. Besides the practical aspect, there is a psychological advantage in stopping wasting your time on detailed long-term plans. See, when you make such plans, you focus a lot on how you'd like your life to be in the future. In other words, you focus on what you don't have yet. And this can, even unconsciously, lead you to be comparing your current life to your idealized future life. This comparison might generate a little bit of motivation, which is good, but it also creates dissatisfaction with what you have right now. Centuries ago, many great thinkers started to already identify that this kind of comparison will cause us a lot of suffering, a lot of harm. Because when we are attached to this desire for an ideal future, we have an aversion to our present self. We can't pay attention to everything that we already have, to all the opportunities that we currently have with every single small decision that we make. And therefore, when you stop procrastinating by making those detailed long-term plans that will never come true, you reduce your self-centeredness. You stop thinking so much about how your life could be, and then you start focusing on the very next practical action that actually can take you to achieve a small goal in the short term. And doing so, little by little, without wasting time, you progress productively to improve your life, always staying in the present moment, dealing with the limitations of your reality, and also having the opportunity to be grateful for every single small achievement. Excessive planning is a huge waste of time. A detailed long-term plan is unlikely to become a reality, so stop wasting time on it. Focus on balancing your planning and your action better. A good way to do this is by making short-term plans clear, small goals. Just a few days, maximum a few weeks. And then you put that plan into practice. You take action. And after a short while, you can evaluate what worked and what didn't work for you. And doing this, you'll be better able to use your time and become a much more productive person. By the way, if you want to learn more about this topic, now I want to invite you to watch a special lesson from our course, Productivity Ninja, specifically on time management, that you can go and see in arata.se/time management.